My name's Wally Taylor with Triple T Farms. Today we are harvesting soybeans and also putting down some cover crops. The growing season has been unusual. Every year is different when it comes to farming, but we had a dry June, hot dry June that was really making things look bad. We were losing pollination on our corn, but the rains hit in July, and I call them monsoon rains. We had 8 to 10 inches of rain in 1 week around here, but surprisingly, our corn yields and our bean yields are doing very well. We don't know why from the weather we had, but they are doing well, and we are very pleased with our yields as of now. We started harvesting September the 1st this year. We didn't harvest but about 3,000 or 4,000 bushels and decided to wait till Monday to start back because of the moisture in the corn. The old saying is you can't get done until you get started, so that's the way we look at it. We've had pretty weather. The corn was a little slow there early about drying down, but for the past week the moisture has really dropped in it, and we've had pretty weather, and you got to take advantage of it, and so we're getting it. Cover cropping we're going to do today is strictly a wheat mix, and the cover crops, of course, years ago we thought it was for keeping our soil from washing away, and it does a good job for that, but we are finding out now that the soil health is really coming around by using cover crops, and we get weed suppression on our winter annuals that are, some of them are hard to kill come next spring. So between the weed suppression and soil health, and then the added benefit of soil erosion, that's why we are using cover crops. Some people say they don't have time to do it, and it does take a little time, and then the cost. And I have no way of knowing what the soil health value is. The erosion value, when you see the ditches running muddy water, you know you're losing money there. So I highly recommend it on especially hilly ground, eroded ground, just for the conservation, conserving the soil, but for anywhere, even on flat ground, the soil health and weed suppression is well worth the money it is to put a cover crop down.
Good morning, I'm Dwayne Sandefur with the USDA Natural Resource Conservation Service, and as we've just seen Wally Taylor of Triple T Farms here in Masonville, Kentucky, he has spread his cover crop. I think he said he did wheat about 50 pounds to the acre, and now he's got his Great Plains Turbo Till, which is going to disturb the soil very, very lightly, but get a little bit better of a seedbed preparation, so he has good seed to soil contact. Here Wally comes now, and as we can see, we're going to show very, very little disturbance with this Great Plains Turbo Till. There's all kinds of Turbo Tills out there. Wally just chose to go with the Great Plains. But as you can see here, we still have our full 90+% of coverage here, which is excellent. So he's going to work this in. There again, it gives it better seed to soil contact, but with very little soil disturbance, which is what we as conservationists are wanting to see. Again, like Wally was saying, this cover crop, you know, it's going to enhance many things. It's going to save for soil erosion. Whenever that raindrop comes down from the sky, it's going to hit, hopefully, his cover crop. Therefore, it won't explode on the soil and keep washing down through the field. It's going to help with his weed suppression. It's going to help with his soil health. It's going to feed the microbes throughout the wintertime, which people are just now learning here in the past 5 to 10 years that, you know, we got to protect our microbes. Just like all of our animals and plants above the ground, all of our microbes underneath the ground, which are cover crops, they feed off the glue-like microglobulin underneath the soil that comes off of the roots. So therefore, if we have a living plant growing year-round, our worms, all of our microbes, they're going to be fed year-round, which is what we want. The more they churn up the soil, there again, we're going to have better water infiltration from the pores, because you can imagine all the ground or earthworms that you see, whenever they burrow, they create all those little holes. That's going to allow our water to penetrate through the soil. It makes for more organic matter in the soil, and we're going to have that water that's going to be able to percolate through the soil. So we're in this dry summer months like we had here in June in Daviess County. If you've had a cover crop and you've done your no-tilling, you're still going to have that moisture where it's absorbed through the soil through infiltration. You know, we've built water and control sediment basins and grass waterways on this farm through the EQIP program years ago. That's a program through the USDA-NRCS. It's Environmental Quality Incentive Program, which assists with many things, the soil erosion just being one of them. We also do for cattle, you know, we can fence your cattle out of streams, out of ponds. We can provide watering systems for that. We also can, around your watering systems, we build a rock pad. That way your cattle aren't drinking water and knee deep in muck and mud and manure. We also have some feed pads that we could do where you're feeding your winter hay instead of just creating a mess out there. There again, it's a rock pad that gets your cattle up out of the muck and the mud, so they can eat healthy. Your hay's cleaner, your hay lasts longer, and you don't waste near as much hay. Any of these programs or these practices, BMP practices, best management practices that you see here that Triple T Farms is doing, feel free to stop by our office. We'd be happy to come out to your farm, look at your concerns, your erosion problems, your cattle problems, your forage problems. We would be happy to come out and look at it through the USDA-NRCS office, through your conservation district here locally in Daviess County. Our number is 270-685-1707. Look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.